got absolutely one focus. It's quite intimidating. In a large venue,
Hi everybody.
Hi.
Oh, this is bright. Welcome to Busybird Publishing for our third monthly open mic night. We have 6 people who are going to get up here tonight, which is fantastic. But first I'd like to tell you a little bit about what we do here for those of you who don't know. Push it a little bit. Especially if you're publishing the way it is these days. Untitled comes out once a year. It is just short stories, but they're short stories that have been sent in from people, mostly new or emerging writers, so it's a chance for them to get their foot in the door in terms of publishing, because it's very hard if you haven't been published before to get something published. It's sort of that catch-22.
Once golden brown is as pale as the moon. My teeth, once a natural cream pearlescent, are whiter than possible. I have grown fangs which I despise.
The library filled.
What, my prince, is the problem?
Never
Silence.
emerged from the shadows.
You complain.
Hello, Chartain. How is my dark prince this evening? He said curtly. Stop speaking to me like that, Chartain said, and snarled like a tiger. For despite his age of 1,000 years, he had a response for everything. He flipped up his cape, span round, and flicked up on the stone. They sustain you. They are good, strong teeth, tough enough to break the crackle
Although
of
he
the
had
land.
riches, the prophet said, he enjoyed the fact that he had touched the prophet's blood, touched the prophet's skin, and had stolen his soul. But he believed that the prophet said soul sustained him. Chartain loved to luxuriate in the glow of the sacred symbols, and it was also incomplete. He did not understand why Chartain's world was less than perfect. Thank you.
Very nice. Okay, we're going to have some poetry now from Paul Donnell.
Sunday and typed today, so bear with me. And it came about after my wife and I and a couple of our children visited the Monet exhibition at the National Gallery. And I was just sitting there looking at some of the canvases and sort of trying to puzzle out what he was getting at. And then remembering that we had visited Giverny in Paris some 20-odd years earlier. So I was just trying to bring the two experiences together. Claude Oscar Monet, November 14, 1840 to December 5th, 1926. Wet, windy, wild. Seems as this is how we meet, undiluted, undisturbed. Those words, perhaps, are the echoes of some mentor, always on his shoulder, whispering into his eye-shaped fan. Lenses curtained by cataracts, relying on memory for colours, shapes and compositions. We are thrilled to observe the restoration of the path into softening our dread, delighting our eyes. So it is again a wet, wild, windy day as we visit Monet, far away from Paris. No.
And Paul was writing a poem, I guess from a horse's point of view, wasn't it? And how the horse loved its rider and was like, I want to hear more of that one next month. Okay, we will now hear from Bill Wakeling with a short story called...
I should also say this is a contribution from the dark side. First and foremost, I want to get in an adverse. I really do appreciate what they do, and I'm sure you all do as well. And I just want to make that point very clear. Look, this gives me an opportunity, seeing that I've been so nice to you guys, just to get in an advertisement. But last month when I was here, I spoke about my first novel, 4 Days of Fear. Now, that's about the assassination of an Australian Prime Minister. And some copies are over there if anybody wants to have them. Look, I want to tell you that years ago, I should also tell you, back in the earlier days of television, they used to have half-hour shows that would explore the occult. Shows that started out with an interesting storyline and usually finished, the Second World War had only just begun. They were shows like September in 1939. And in the United States, the season was on the turn with the first telltales of fall and evidence. Our man of the moment didn't need to be reminded because the wind whistled through the open tramcar as it made its way down. It was there first. It was a time of great celebration. Our man walked into the bar, said a quick hello to the guys who had already settled in for a good time. Just maybe an introduction to Harry or the animal, or maybe both, could have been interesting and perhaps what she needed. But enough of that as she ushered him into the surgery. Immediately there was much shaking of hands and congratulatory slaps on the back because of the blessed event. But then the doctor turned into this serious. He crossed over into the grounds of the hospital. And the man at the gate was on the phone, but motionless as well. He reached the entrance of the hospital, turned left to walk into the wards, and stopped because he was confronted by a brick wall. He turned, and the stranger was gone. It was never late. He climbed the stairs, falling and getting up, falling and getting up, falling and getting up. He kept on going and continued until finally he was out of the hospital and past the front gate. The man at the gate was talking on the phone. The lovers in the park at West, the people were crossing the street. Traffic was back to normal, and he stopped dead in his tracks. What am I doing? He asked himself. I need to go and see my wife and the baby.
Thanks, Bill. Oh, we might have a bit of a change of pace. I'm going to invite Melba Uliaris, is that how you pronounce it? With your children's story? Yep.
Hi, I am a first-time children's author. I've been working on lots of manuscripts, but this is one that I've recently written. I've returned from Bologna not long ago. I attended the Bologna Children's Book Festival and encountered lots of beggars, and it was quite
Confronting.
well, it was very confronting, but also it gave me lots to write about. So creative, lots of creative space. This one's based on the life of Edith Piaf, and it's called Little Sparrow. They call me Little Sparrow. I sing on the shadowed streets of Paris. On the corner of the street is where my tattered hat fills, not too bright on a tossed coin, but my beauty lies within. My harped voice is what makes them stop and catch their breath. My daddy is busily counting coins and trapped within his circus strings. I am caged in, a voice angel ready for full flight. They call me Little Sparrow, ready for a bigger life.
And Melba, have you got a copy of your other book?
I do.
Yeah. Show everybody. And you're going to be at Eltham Library, or which library?
No, on Mill Park Library on the 21st of August,
Yep.
and then down to Hurstbridge Literature Festival on the
Yeah.
25th.
Yeah, this is nice to know that some local stuff is being published. Thanks, Melba. Gina, come on down.
I will typically write short format articles and not short stories but more commercial writing. So this is my first, well, I've shelved 30,000 words of, I'll call it memoir. So I've got that kind of out of the system. And this is, I've got about 15,000 words, which you won't hear of tonight, of course, of what I'm calling a fiction, but it's blending a lot of memoir type experiences, I suppose. I was driving and breathing, poised for disaster, any interruption to schedule, but the green digital dashboard clock blinked as planned. We wouldn't be missing our early morning flight unless the food freeway suddenly sticks, crinkle cut potato chips for Spike, white bread, Vegemite sandwiches and banana biscuits for Honey. negotiated the correct lane to the boom gate. The sleepyheads in the backgrounds and understood the adventure until now, only described in two-dimensional pictures, was beginning to play. Here we are! I fumbled for the Velcro strip of laminated cards displaying the sequence of events and reached it through to the back seat to see if anyone was interested in taking it from me. No one was, but my need to rush was always counterbalanced by my children's need to delay, protest, or refuse. On the morning that we really needed to get on, we were doing it. Just keep moving through the process, girl, and you'll soon be stepping out in sunny Cairns, hugging your best friend and surviving the time your husband is away in the US of A. Rick, my husband. I've already shared more than 12 years of my life with him. We'd our precious prescribed delivery of a son and a daughter. I want a boy and then a girl. He got it that way, and I liked it.
Thanks, Tina.
Thank you, thank you.
Elaine is here. Sue. You are. I can't read my own writing. Sue's going to read us some poetry and a short story. Is that right?
This time.
Yeah.
Short story.
Yeah.
The invisible wife becomes visible. Miranda sighed as she surveyed the wreckage of her mascara-streaked face and boudoir was enjoying the limelight immensely, her beautiful cloisonne on her haute couture gown, moving seductively over her lithe body until her husband cut in and broke up their fun. He frog-marched her into the foyer for a talk on the way a corporate wife should behave when in the company, how to with half-closed eyes, and touched her flushed cheek to Lorenzo's as the frenzy of movement. Lorenzo was the don't try and be an intellectual.
Works for me.
Works for you.
I was a Pioneers fan.
Oh, good. Well, this one's not funny. If you think oh, okay. Well, funny one. All right. Okay. We've got a better age of audience as you this time. Right, grey nomads. You see us on highways and byways, grey nomads are out on the move, spending their children's inheritance, refusing to stay in the groove. We've done with the office and workplace, driving and cooling down after the class. It's time to travel the nation. Lorenzo clasped his hands and shrilled that he had a big surprise for him. His dance company had been asked to provide a small troupe for an advertising agency to shoot a video clip for a client.
He knows a bit of input to the music, but basically I've written the lyrics and Tony's written the music. Our first song, actually all of the songs we're going to do tonight I think were about love, I think. And the first song started its life as a acrostic. Acrostic, is that where? Yeah, where ever patient, you let it. I know it's settled. Oh, I remember that day in November when all we had was dreams. That day in November when all we had was dreams. Maybe all the lost rest of days. sonnet. Don't run away. But
So
again,
we thought we'd turn Shakespeare into a bit of Tex-Mex, you know.
I mean, Shakespeare, right, but in the style of the Shakespearean sonnet, and all of the Shakespeare sonnets were about love, I think. So this one is also about love, or not. Your gentle touch is softer than my cheek, as in the still of night, you seek to wake me from my slumber. Is it me you're really looking for? Or is it just whoever's there to take it? Our mouse was a creature chased by a cat. Back then, TV screens were beautifully rounded, not flat. You didn't need CDs when thinking of things you might burn. A pin was something you wore on your hat.
Cuppa, some more wine, more bickies, have a chat to each other, show each other your books, or just have a chat, whatever you like. I also wanted to point out that we are running a competition on our website to find out more details about it as well. So thanks all for coming, and hope to see you again next month. Yeah.
I'd also like to thank Blaze very much for organising this. It's a wonderful thing that you've given people an opportunity to share their work. I certainly really enjoyed listening to other people's stories and poems and so forth, and I hope you enjoyed the songs that we sang. For those of you who do enjoy music, I'd just like to say that I, on behalf of a not-for-profit organisation called the What I Run Concerts monthly at St Margaret's in Eltham from March to November on the first Friday of the month. And this, the next one coming up is on August the 2nd, and it's a fantastic group called Lily and King, who we've actually brought back. We had them last year and people enjoyed them so much, and